Hey everybody, it's Jay Ball, Blue Jays Outdoors, and we are getting really close to the start of the season. And I'm actually going through tonight and putting all new taps on all my lines. And I'm also redoing some of the end hook connections, trying something a little bit different this year. Just over the years, I've learned more and more about how to run tubing, and I actually want to show you guys what I'm doing to modify these lines to make it easier for me to collect sap, less work I've got to do just overall in general. So you guys saw just a quick time lapse of some of the stuff I'm doing using these handy new tubing tools from Pruno. And do these things are a game changer. One of the things that I highly suggest investing in if you're going to do this, and supposed to do multiple taps, is one of these tubing tools, because you can do this stuff with hot water out in the field or in the house, but it's really difficult, man. These tubing tools are a game changer. So let me show you guys exactly what's going on and how I'm using these tubing tools and how I'm reconnecting these end hooks. So check this out. Okay, so this is one of my old ends to the tree. So before, I had just a piece of tubing on here that would connect the hook to this, and then I would take some wrap wire around the tree, and then I would hook this to there. But what I need to do is I actually need to put this dead stop T in here. You can see there's no flow through there. What I need to do is replace this T with this, so that I can have the sap run down into the bucket, have sap flow through here, but then have another piece of tubing that is then going to be on this hook wrapped around the tree. So just looking at this first, what I actually need to do is I need to cut this piece off right here and replace this Y with a T to connect up here, and then from that T I will then connect this T, or I'll replace that T with this T. So let me just do a quick time lapse and show you guys this, and just a little bit easier to show you than try to explain it to you. Okay, so there we have replaced now this downspout that goes into the bucket. Now we've got a T that replaced the Y, so to connect these three taps to this T, so sap can flow from down on the other taps through the T into this T, and then it's going to stop. So what I'm not going to do, but once you guys see this in the field, is I'm going to take and put another piece of longer tubing on here, put that on there, but then I'm also going to have an end hook on here so that I can then take this and wrap it around the tree and hook it on itself like that. So that's my new anchor. So now I've replaced the wire that I used to use with this actual tubing, but I needed to get these dead stops. I didn't have these before, so sap can't flow through here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do to a lot of these, is just change these over so that I can, again, be that more efficient. Something else I wanted to show you guys, so you can see that last year when I was using hot water to push these on, so I was dipping these in hot water and then pushing these over, and you can see that the line kind of gets a little bit of a crink in it because you put too much tension on it while it's warm. You can do that, which could potentially slow your flow rate down. But what I'm doing too, as I'm going through and looking at these tubes and putting taps on, is I'm actually tightening everything down. So I'm putting this in between the tubing tool, locking this down, and then watch this right here. I'm just going to make sure that that's nice and tight. And of course it slipped on me. Let's try that again. There, that's pretty tight. Oops. See, I actually smashed it. That's because it was already too deformed, so now I need to cut this off and clean that up. So here's a tip and trick for you guys. I learned this the hard way. So you might have noticed that I just used this pair of scissors to cut off the end of the tubing, because that's the only way to get it off because of the way this grip is designed. You have to be very careful when you're cutting the tubing off that you don't score these ribs, because actually last year I did that and I had some leaks. So there's actually about 2 pounds of pressure that naturally occur within the tree, which that pressure then transfers to these lines. So if you gouge these ribs, these locking ribs, you actually have some leak problems, air leaks, and that's the last thing you want actually. So I learned that the hard way. I cut off a bunch of connections, a bunch of hooks and T's and Y's, and actually ruined them because I didn't take the time to cut all these off. But you can see I've got a pile over there of tubing that I need to cut up. And yeah, so this stuff actually, I'll try to reuse this because this stuff has a pretty good shelf life on it. It doesn't have as much, has a little bit longer life expectancy than taps. So I'll definitely try to save this stuff as much as possible. So now that you've seen how I add taps and I change the end hooks, I'm just going to get right into it. So we're going to hopefully get through most of the lines today. It was kind of not a wasted day, but it was really cold. We got a lot of snow, and it's going to be -4 tonight. So this is a perfect time to just go through and do this stuff. So hang out with me. Let's see how much we can get done. Well, as you can see, we're making some pretty good progress. I've only got those 3 barrels left, and then those 3 buckets in the 1 barrel. And then I do have to make some other, other tubing, other doubles, I think, and some singles. But man, it's been pretty efficient. I've been pretty happy so far. But man, these Pruno tubing tools, or this tubing tool, is a game changer. This thing is making my life a heck of a lot easier. So these are not inexpensive, but man, I can tell you already these things have paid for themselves, because to do what I just did and do it with hot water is just painstakingly slow. It works, but man, these are a game changer here. So then we're gonna call it a night. It's about 10:30. I'm gonna probably get back up at 5 o'clock in the morning and pick back up and try to get this all wrapped up before I got to work tomorrow morning. So I'll catch you guys in the morning. Thanks for hanging out with me. So I know it seems like a lot of work, and really it truly is. I mean, I think I had 280 hours in this season last year to make 26 gallons of syrup. And I know this looks like a lot, but we're just getting started, folks. There is so much more you guys haven't even seen yet. So back down here for about an hour or so before I got to start work for the day. And we're going to keep cutting up tubing and fixing these end hooks and putting taps on. So hang out with me. As with most hobbies, this one doesn't pay the bills. Maybe one day, with your guys' support to the channel, to Instagram, and to my YouTube channel, maybe one day this will pay the bills. But unfortunately, because it doesn't, I've got to go work. So we'll try to wrap this up probably tomorrow morning. It's date night. Wednesday's date nights, for those of you that don't know. So no maple syrup, no fishing on date nights, unless Mrs. Blue Jay wants to go on the boat. But it's kind of a way for me to take a step back and spend some time with Mrs. Blue Jay. So we will continue this a little bit later. So catch you guys then. Are you kidding? This isn't done yet. Man, whoever's doing this needs to not be so lazy and get this all taken care of already. Jeez. Well, back at it again. It's about 6:30, so I got about an hour or so before I need to start working my real job. And yeah, hopefully we can get this tubing wrapped up. I've only got 1 barrel, 2 barrels and 3 buckets, and I should have most of the tubing redone. I do need to remake a few lines. Like there was this 4 that I had last year that I just didn't like. So this won't all be complete. I mean, I'll be able to go hang the tubing. I'll have 90% of my tubing hung, but I still will need to remake some things. So hang out with me. Hopefully we can get this done here in a little bit. Well, there you have it. All the pre-made tubing is got new taps on it and new tees, and is ready for new end hooks. So I guess the next thing I gotta do is one, clean this all up. But yeah, I think within the next day or two, I'm gonna go out and I'll hang the lines and get all the buckets and barrels situated. We're still about a week maybe out, depending on the temperature. Looks like there's gonna be a little bit of a run earlier in the next week, but then it's gonna freeze again. So it might be a little bit later of a season, because last year I tapped on, I think, the 21st or the 22nd of February, and now it looks like not until the maybe 1st or 2nd of March is when it's going to get that consistent, above 30 during the day and below freezing at night, which I can explain better the process of how the sap flows. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Again, this maybe not be the most interesting stuff, but I just want you to see what it takes to actually build these lines and replace the tubing and how much time it takes. I probably have maybe about 4 hours into putting new taps on all the lines. And again, it's maybe 160 taps. I've still got some other stuff that I need to rebuild, but I can do that out in the woods. The major replacing the tapping is done, or the taps is done. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, my name is Jay Ball, Blue Jays Outdoors. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Don't forget the notification bell and to follow me for daily updates. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. That's blue_J_maple_syrup. Really do appreciate your time. And remember, the easiest way to change your attitude is by showing gratitude. Thanks. We'll catch you next time.